Hi, this is Jody Murray of FresnoBee.com here with Marek Warszawski, the sports columnist for the Fresno Bee. After watching the Bulldogs put up an interesting fight against the number 21 ranked team in the country.
Yeah, I think the game, as far as margin of victory or margin of loss in Fresno State's case, kind of went about how I expected it to, but the game was a little higher scoring than I thought too. I didn't think 45-24 would be the final score. I thought it'd be, maybe, something a little bit lower than that, but the game got away a little bit. The score got away from Fresno State with those, those two second half, return touchdowns,
Right.
So.
And speaking of the second half, I mean, we went into the game pretty much giving the quarterback job to Chason Virgil, and by the time it was over, we're back into the,
yeah,
who's got the job now.
I think we're kind of back up maybe at square one a little bit. I mean, Chason did okay, but the passing game looked kind of anemic when he was in there. The Bulldogs really didn't sustain too many drives. In the first half, there was a point where Utah had drives of 19 plays and of 16 plays, and Fresno State had 14 total plays at that point. And they really weren't just sustaining. They got the golden opportunity on the first drive, getting the ball in the 17, didn't go anywhere. And Chason's first, really good drive of the game, and I don't think it resulted in a touchdown.
No, it didn't. Yeah.
It happened
in
the third quarter.
Yeah.
Ended at the goal line when they were kind of in go for it mode. So. And then Chason kind of gets tackled. He lands on his shoulder. The trainers are attending to him on the sideline.
Yeah.
And then in comes Zack Greenlee. He throws 3 touchdown passes, including an 82-yarder to Jameer Jordan and a great throw to a covered Damari Scott on the side of the end. Those people who think that when the game is 0-0 and when a quarterback comes in when it's 31-10, it's a different deal. You can't really evaluate those two situations the same.
Yeah.
But if we're going to give Virgil credit for how he played in garbage time against Abilene Christian and against Ole Miss, you have to give Greenlee credit for what he did tonight when the game was pretty much decided already. So, I mean, his passes look kind of pretty good today.
They sure did.
It's hard to argue with that. So I'm not really sure who the starting quarterback is at this point.
It was the Coach Ritter said after the game. I think you asked him, so what's the situation with Virgil? He says, well, he injured his shoulder on a tackle. That's all I know. Right. But I was telling you that I was watching his body language on the sideline, Virgil, and after he'd been kind of looked at for a while, he worked his way up to the front of the sideline. Then he was almost like behind the coaches saying, "Come on, let me." So he looked like somebody who thought, okay, that's it, I'm fine. So.
Right. Well, maybe at that point they liked what they saw from Zack, and they just kept him in there. I mean, the coaches do insist that it's been a close competition all along. Very close. I mean, I would have been shocked if Virgil didn't start today. When you lose by 52 points, there's no reason not to go to the other guy the following week. Yeah. But I don't know where it stands right now, Jody. I mean, I'm not 100% clear on this.
Where have we heard this before?
Yeah, we've heard this before a little bit. And I know.
Wow.
And that's kind of the issue when you rotate quarterbacks is you might end up a few games in not really knowing who the guy is, and I think we're kind of at that point right now. So.
Yeah. So what about the other side of the ball? How the defense looked tonight?
The defense played okay. I mean, you look at against a big, strong team, they were able to sustain those drives. I mean, Booker had a lot of incentive going against a team, the school he signed with originally and didn't get in here, and he still holds it against them. And he had, he's a big physical back. A lot of third down conversions, a lot of chain moving for Utah. You look at the final totals. I mean. Fresno State gave up 1 touchdown on that fumble recovery. They gave up another touchdown on the kickoff return. They gave up another touchdown on the punt return. Yeah. And there was another really long return that I think may have set up the final Utah score, I think. So if you look at those things, like the defense, maybe gave up maybe 3 legitimate touchdowns and a field goal. So they played an okay game. I mean, it wasn't too bad, I think. Yeah. I'm not going to go out and sing their praises. I mean, I'm trying to look at sacks. I'm not seeing them here. I don't recall them getting a ton of pressure. I mean, Thompson was 19 of 25, so only 159 yards, but he was making the completions when he needed to.
Right.
Booker averaged 5 yards a carry. That'll get the job done.
Yeah. No, he was a beast.
I mean, certainly the special teams is going to be something you have to look at. I mean, you can't give up those long returns. It's not something we've necessarily seen out of Fresno State, at least not this year. Last year we did a little bit, but that's definitely an area of concern, and I'm sure teams are going to scout the Bulldogs. Can we exploit that weakness too?
So what's past this prologue? They get through the non-conference, 1 and 2, 3 completely different games.
Right.
And now San Jose State, as I was noting, they went up to Corvallis. They actually led Oregon State by a touchdown at halftime, and then apparently got torched in the second half by a freshman quarterback. Of course, it could be that Sept Collins isn't quite Chason Virgil. But
I didn't look at all the last scores, but it was another brutal weekend for the Mountain West. I believe that Boise State is the only team that won, and that was they're playing Idaho State, yesterday. And there was some close losses. Nevada went to A&M, lost by 2 touchdowns. Air Force went to Michigan State, lost by 2 touchdowns. UNLV went to Michigan, lost by 3 touchdowns. So, I mean, it wasn't, Utah State kind of struggled against Washington. So it was not, San Jose State, as you just talked about. And then, of course, San Diego State losing to
South Alabama.
South Alabama
in overtime.
That is not a good look for the conference at all.
Yeah,
so,
I was surprised to see that. I saw that late this evening. I was very surprised.
So, I'm not sure, where these games leave Fresno State in relation to the conference race. But certainly they're not, I don't think that you can say that, really anything. You can't declare anything about the conference race from what we've seen, except for maybe the division is not very good.
Well, Mark, thanks for your time. For FresnoBee.com, this is Jody Murray. Have a pleasant evening.